Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Thomas. I think you may have met me in class already. Either way, welcome to the realm that I work on as an admin. I figured I'd show you around a little bit to show you some of the things I've been working on. But before we get kicked off, I'd like to start with the workshop I made. So this is my little workshop. Welcome inside everybody. Close the door because manners matter. So let's get to the workshop proper. Oh, I never get tired of that. So welcome, here's my workshop where apparently one of my friends has installed a Wheatley on me without telling me. I'll have to yell at them later. This is where I've got my villager scientists working night and day on, I don't know, whatever they like, trying to figure out how to not blow their hands off. These are some of the devices I test around the workshop. Basically, before I use anything in one of my bigger devices, I test it in here, just to see if it'll work or not. For example, this thing was working, then Minecraft updated, and now it doesn't work right anymore. So back to the drawing board on that one. Speaking of the drawing board, this is one of our workshop test rooms. In here we test the speed of objects. This little box will actually count for every 10th of a second. So if I want to see how fast, say, a horse is, I can run it through these two gates. I'm going to run through myself real quick. See how fast I go. Oh, I didn't breathe once the entire time. So that should have told me exactly how fast I was able to run on foot from one end to the other of my speed test shop. Flick off the lights there, save power. Let's see. 24 buttons. That means it was about 24 tenths of a second. Not bad. I've been exercising. Let's look around the rest of the lab a little more. I was watching you guys deal with TNT cannons and I got a bit impressed, so eventually this whole area is going to be a TNT cannon emporium. But before we get there, I'll show you some of the devices I made. This is the rapid fire arrow cannon. It uses a pair of observers looking at each other to fire, and when activated, it does quite a bit of damage in quite a small amount of time. Oh. Whew. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to turn it off again. Last time I just had to flood the entire room with magma to make it go away. Oop. In here we've got a fireworks cannon. Same idea, but this one shoots fireworks instead. Of course, it's not doing a big enough kaboom for my taste, so eventually we'll repair that as well. But again, that's what these tests are for. I need to work on the timing of my own doors. There we go. This is the agricultural section of the workshop. Here we're testing all kinds of ways of growing plants and making them harvest themselves. This is an automatic bamboo harvester. These are my security guards who look like they've been dealing with a lot of stuff. Here's where we're testing out wither roses. I wouldn't advise tasting them if I were you. And here is one of my kelp batteries. This machine generates kelp, automatically harvests the kelp, feeds the kelp into the center of the machine, and then composts it down to bone meal. It then uses the bone meal to grow more plants, which are then harvested and stored. You can see the kelp growing right down there. You can see the little observers glaring out at the kelp as it grows up. Every time it grows high enough, it'll activate this machine. This machine will take incoming bone meal, plant it, and then flood it and fill this container. Let's see if I can trigger it for you real quick. I've got some bone meal on me, I think. Do I? I do. So let me plonk a little in here. Let's see if I can get this thing to run. There we go. And the water washes everything down into the treasure chest. Nice. And this will keep running even when I'm not here, which is good because there's a lot of stuff in this lab to look at. Across from the agricultural section, we have the deep sea aquarium department. There's a lot of stuff I wanted to test underwater, but of course underwater isn't the safest environment in Minecraft. There's sunken ships, there's the drowned, there's all kinds of pufferfish, guardians, etc. So I made myself a pressure chamber. You can go inside of the aquarium by flicking this lever to open the pressure doors. Back inside, luckily I got my wetsuit on already for this demonstration. So flicking this lever will close the outside door and open the door above us, bringing us into the aquarium. Now here I've got a number of things I'm testing, from sea pickles to sea turtles. I've got salmon, and most interestingly, I've got one of these. These curious little devices can be found under the sea, and if you've got one running, well, it can give you quite a few powers underwater. Of course, still testing exactly how it works, how far it works, what it does to enemies and such. Cool. Up to the raft. Of course, all of my labs tend to have 2 floors to them, so we can test things on multiple levels. Over here we keep some of the more tropical fish for observational purposes. They seem to be doing okay. And let's take the stairs. Spiral staircases are a must if you're going to have a crazed lab. There's Meeby, Mooby, and Meba. These are some of the little slimes I keep over in the genetics research part. We fabricate our own creatures for Minecraft in here. Everyone's seen the normal zombies and spiders and skeletons and of course the classic creeper, but there's a few things you've probably never seen before, which we tend to build in here. The idea is before we unleash them on the unwitting world, we test them out in this big chamber. And if things don't go right, we fill it with lava. So these are our 2 test chambers, and we have our controls in the back. Here we go. So this is the control panel. Just give it a quick twist, and it'll pop in anything you like. We've got iron golems, test zombies, the security teams, boat bats. I'll show you some of the weirder things you may not have seen before. The slimy stack. Let's pop one of those into each of those. Boop. Boop. Now you guys have probably seen slimes before, but have you seen them like this? They're certainly squishy little goobers. I don't really need 2 of these, so one of them's going to go bye-bye. Burning hot lava takes care of most problems you can have with this sort of stuff. How about something a little more interesting, though? How about a slime knife? For those of you wondering how this thing works, let's take a peek in the back. I can read signals through walls, and then I can pass signals along redstone like this. These are the command blocks which spawn my monsters, whatever sort they are. And these are the command blocks that throw them into their containers over there. I had to light up this room because we actually had other creatures creeping in. Yeah, you don't want a creeper inside your electronics. Close the door, safety first. Let's get a slime night going. And let's move them into the sample room. The sample room is where they can move and really stretch their, well, legs or whatever they have. There we have a slime night. It's a fully armed zombie riding a slime. Pretty dangerous too. That's why we keep double locked doors in here. Now I'm in creative mode, so I'm in no danger essentially. But imagine seeing a pack of these bouncing after you on dark and stormy night. My friends are most horrified by my killer statues, which I can't quite show off right now. But let's clear out that room. All good things must come to an end, and sometimes you just have to get rid of monsters you make. That'll do the trick, I think. Yep, no muss, no fuss. Nice and clean. Let's see, we go. Now the whole place is actually quite big. This is just the workshop. If we look at the map we've got here, We're currently here on this little island that serves as my workshop. But we've also got the Meccano Gallery and Railway inside of this, the Minty Battle Tower, which I'll show you all in just a second, and our biome storage, which you'll get to see in a second. But first, I want to show all of you a little arcade I built. What do you think? Cute little games. This one sadly is broken, and don't tell anyone else on the server, but there's a secret inside of it. Ooh. Oh, back out in the fresh air. I think I'll show all of you what I've really been working on, the big piece de resistance. This is just sort of an entryway. Ooh, I'm excited to have you guys see it. This is Minty Battle Tower. It's a self-building tower. My friends were kind of sad that there weren't too many places to explore because, well, once you've explored Minecraft enough, your friends have probably conquered most of the stuff you can run into. And then you have to keep going further and further. But I thought, what if you could keep making places for them to explore that changed every time they explored it? So I made the Minty Battle Tower. You can go inside and choose how big you want the tower to be. So, for example, if you're not too brave of an explorer, you can say, I'd like it to be a short little tower, maybe just one floor on top, please. So if I hit this button, it should change the height of the tower. Cross your fingers, it still works. Here we go. Whispers, good. Pausing, good. Let's go out and see. If it worked right, the tower should only be one floor tall now above this. Yep, just one floor of the Minty Battle Tower now exists. Look at that. And bedrock, just so that the more adventurous players don't try to just burrow up through the floors. So once you've set how tall the tower is going to be for you to go on your exploration mission, you can choose what's actually going to be inside the tower. Let's say you want to go on an adventure and have something like a haunted forest. Or maybe you want a dodgy dungeon. Or how about a lovely lava land? Hedgewick Manor Maze, the Suffocating City, Shattered Sea Lab, the Silent Library. You get to choose. And then each floor of the tower will be a different one of these locations as you go up it. Now, as you travel the tower, there won't be treasures themselves in the tower, but you will be able to find special items that don't exist anywhere else in the game. Bring these back with you after traveling up through Minty Battle Tower, and you'll be able to put them into one of my machines. The machine will act like a giant gumball dispenser, but with really rare stuff inside. I'm talking about things like a flower that can do 500 damage. How about an enchanted carrot on a stick which has looting 3? How about a sword which got us enough kickback to send a creeper county mile away? And I'm going to show you guys the back side of this thing real quick. This is a part of it. This is where it controls how tall the tower is going to be. You can see the output on the other side. Lots of comparators in here. But this is just the part which controls the height of the tower. Over here is where we switch on the biomes. Notice every time I flip one of those little levers on the other side, a piston gets moved out, which helps pass a pulse into the little command blocks. Hi, command blocks. If we follow the trail down this way, it leads to the rest of the tower. Lots of redstone goes into this. And here we've got command blocks all over the place. These take care of cleaning up the tower, getting rid of it when we make a new version of it, so the old version isn't still there, counting off how big it's supposed to be, putting in new biomes as it goes. Over here are bits that we swap in and out. So the 6th floor, the 7th floor, and the 8th floor. This is where we randomly make biomes. So even if you've picked 5 different biomes, but you have 8 floors, you might randomly see some of them at different times. This isn't hooked up right at the moment because I'm still testing it, but this is something I just built. Check it out. This is a random number maker. There's no real way to make random numbers in Minecraft, so I had to build a machine to do it for me. Every time I boot this button, it should give me a random number between 1 and 16. Boop. And it just told me 14. You see in the corner there? Boop it again. 11. And one more. 8. Lovely. So what that's actually doing is, it's going to be picking random rooms. What do I mean by random rooms? Well, let's go outside and I'll show you. So here we have a bit of a work in progress next to the tower, which has rebuilt itself up to its full height, you see, piece by piece as it goes. This is the Minty Battle Institute. Inside here is where we're going to keep all the different biomes. So the lava land, the funky forest, the silent library, they'll all be contained inside of these big specimen containers. Notice the size of the lights inside. Can you see the big shapes? They're about 8 by 8 by 8. So big cubes. Each one of these is going to be a size of the random rooms that could possibly appear in the tower. So there'll be 16 different rooms, and then a central tower part in the center you can climb up. But of course you're going to want to get out to look for those pieces to find. So each one of these is going to house a different biome. I had to make the cages first before I figured out how to make the biomes for the tower. And that is quite a tall tower too. I think it goes above the cloud line. It does. Hello! I should probably show you something a friend of mine was annoyed with recently. It's down there. Let's take a leap off the top of Minty Battle Tower. Soft as a daisy. This is one of my recent inventions, I guess you could say. This is Gluon the Quantum Horse, the fastest thing alive. He's not so much a horse as he is the odds of a horse being in a location. Effectively, there's a probability there's a horse somewhere in here. I'll show you what I mean. Gluon isn't just fast. Gluon is terrifyingly fast. I'm going to take off his restraints. Keep your eyes on him. Or maybe I should pull out an apple. Gluon, you want an apple or a bit of wheat? Yeah, he wants an apple. Here we go. Boop. Okay. We've safely gotten on the quantum horse. Ooh, it's steady. Ooh. Okay, now, Gluon is so fast, the only way to safely travel with him is to navigate by coordinates. So let's see. I hope I pressed the right button. Okay. We're currently around 500 by negative 560. I'm going to have to watch those numbers to try to get back to the world spawn. And I'm going to try and do it in about 2 jumps. Here goes. I got stuck. There we go. Whoop. Whoop. And go. I don't know exactly where I am. I think I hit the far end of the quarry on that one. There we go. Go, Gluon. Go. 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 We're about halfway back. Ooh, another horse. Ooh, and a village. We're about halfway back to the world spawn now. Last time we did this, I overshot it by a country mile and I ended up losing a race. He's fine. I did overshoot it. Which way am I going? Positive Z, negative X. Positive Z, that way. Ooh. And we fell into a canyon. Well, that happens. Up and out. Canyons are a breeze for Gluon the Quantum Horse. And we've made it back to World Spawn. This is where everyone on our realm gets to visit. This realm is dedicated to a friend of mine who passed away tragically. And this is her pagoda. And I know she would have quite liked seeing Gluon. Well, let's head back. I think we were in that direction? Or that direction? Either way, we were in one of them. I'll get back. And if I time this right, I should land somewhere near. Let's see. I'll probably hit the side of it. There it is. No, But I nearly landed him back in his corral. I'm going to turn off coordinates real quick. Whew. This is why we keep Glue on in his own special enclosure like that. Oh, good boy. Who's a good, unpredictable cloud of a boy? You stay in there. Okay. Whew. And finally, we got the Mechanos Museum and Library. This is where we test out some things for people to use for their own farms. Their own devices, their own machines. We got randomizer machines, we got harvesting machines. Everything you could possibly want to try is somewhere in here. We also have a portal that gets you away from this place if you happen to get sick of science. For example, here's a flip-flop. Boop the button and things go one way, boop it again, they go the other. I love this. Sadly, you know, there's actually one thing most of the folks who are actually on this server don't know. We tend to keep it in perpetual daytime and just fight enemies when it's dark in caves, but my fountain actually shapeshifts itself at night. And I figured I may as well show you guys that before I sign off. So I'm going to set it to the middle of the night. Watch the fountain. You're one of the few groups who will ever see that thing actually go off.